Hi everyone. In this session, we are going to learn about polymorphism. In previous session, we have learned about encapsulation, and this is the last concept in OOPS. We have already seen all OOPS concepts, so this is the last one. So let's see just overview on polymorphism, which we discussed earlier in the basic theory part. So polymorphism is nothing but it's an ability for an object to take a different forms, right? That means you can do anything multiple ways. For example, we have a TV or we have a TV and it can contain a different forms, right? You can have an ultra HD, you can have a 4K, you can have a normal, all those stuff, right? So that's example of polymorphism. One thing existing in different forms. Right. Next, we have two types of polymorphisms in Java. One is runtime polymorphism and other one is compile time polymorphism. This compile time polymorphism is also called as static polymorphism and runtime is also called as dynamic polymorphism. So we will be creating a method here, and when that method is decided, which method should be picked up and all will be decided based on this implementation. Whether it should pick up at the runtime or whether it should be picked up at the compile time will be made based on the declaration that we do, and we will see the example now. Let me switch to Eclipse quickly. So I already have a package here with all the examples of OOPS concepts. Now let me create one more class, polymorphism example. Okay. So one thing you have to remember is first let's see a compile time polymorphism, which is nothing but a method overloading, right? So let me now create method overloading. Okay. Let me have a main method here, public static void main. Right. Now let me create a one more class which will have same methods with the different arguments, right? I'll call it as class overload example. Okay. I'll say void add int a comma int b. That means I'm adding two numbers. Okay. And I'll call it as system.out.println. Addition is sum is a plus b. Okay. Now I'm going to create a same method with different arguments. I'll call it as integer c. And here I'm going to give a plus b plus c. So you can see one method, same name. Okay, void return type is same, void add, and the two arguments here in the first method and the three arguments in the second method, right? Now which one should be picked up, which one we should call? So that will be done during the compile time. Okay, now let's create an object and let's try to call those methods and see. Okay, I'm creating an object for overload example is equal to new overload example. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll call obj dot add of. If I say add, you can see these two methods are being displayed. You can click on anything. So I'll click on add for two methods for two variables. So 10 comma 20. And for the next one, I'll be choosing three methods and I'll give 10, 20, 30. Okay. Let me run this program now. Yeah, my sum is 30 and 60. So this is an example of overloading. Here you have a same argument. Oh, sorry, you have a same method name with different argument numbers. Here you have two arguments and here you have three arguments, right? Now this is an example of method overloading. Okay, let me rename it. If you want to rename it, right click, refactor, rename. Okay, and give method overloading example. Next, finish. Now I'm going to give an example of method overriding. Okay, let me create a new class, method overriding example. Okay, now let me create a class, public class A, or I'll say poly underscore A, or I'll say class. Okay, now I'll declare it as public void display. I'll say display. Okay, and I'll write this is a method. This is a display method inside class poly underscore A. Right? I have one method, I have one statement written. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a same display method inside my main class as well. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll say class polymorphism example extends poly A. Right? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy paste the same method, and I'll just say change the description here from the class polymorphism example. Okay, so this method belongs to polymorphism method overloading example, and this method belongs to poly A. Now in this main method, in this class I am going to call display method, and we will see how it is called during runtime. Okay, so I'll say public static void main string args method overriding example. Okay, now let me create an object. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an object of poly A instead of polymorphism method example. So I'll say poly A is equal to new. Okay, okay, object, right? We need to create an object, obj is equal to new. I'm going to take this class now. Okay, now I'm going to call display, right? Obj dot display. Okay, now guess what the output will be displayed? Now the output will be displayed class polymorphism. This will be printed because we are creating an object for this class. Okay, using this class A object, right? So let me run this. You can see the output now. This is display method inside class polymorphism overriding example. Okay, this is one example, that one. Now let me do some different way. Now I'm going to give poly A as poly A. Now what it will do? It will create an object for poly A and it is going to call a method from display. Right? Let me run this. See, you can see this is a display method inside class poly A. So whatever you define here, the object calls that respective method in that particular class. Right? This is the way that you can achieve a method overriding. So this is very helpful in automation part. You might be having a same functionality for different pages, the same functionality in the sense like you have to enter a text in the same different pages but the fields are same. So in that case you will be using these kind of methods, and to which page you need to implement, that depends on. So let me show you one more example. Let me say this as poly B. Okay, and I'll call it as poly B. Now let me create one more object for poly B. So poly B obj1 is equal to new poly B. Okay, now if I see obj1 dot, I will be able to see only poly B, right? So I'll run this program. See, I have poly A, I have poly B. That means within the same class, you are defining your own object, okay, and you are trying to achieve this. So you can do in other way also. You can create object of this. Let's try. Is equal to obj2 is equal to new poly A. See, is it allowing? It's not allowing. What it says, add cast to polymorphism method overriding example. If I do this, okay, it is casting. Right now you can do obj2 dot display. Now let's see the output. See, poly A cannot cast to polymorphism method overriding. That means you cannot create an object using this class. You can only create an object for the extents. You have extended poly A, right? Or you can even, yeah, if you want to use multiple inheritance here, in you have to use interface. Let's not go that deep, but just understand a simple concept here. Let me delete this as well. So you have a same method with a different functionality. Okay, here I'll put one more statement for just for a reference. I'll type something here. Okay, so it has two statements. Here it has only one statement. That means a different functionality, but you are trying to call this using a different object. If you put as poly A, it will call poly B, but if you put as poly this main method, it will call main one. Let's see. So that is how this overriding is used in Java. So I'll be pasting this example in an description box. You can take and practice, do some practice so that you will gain some hands-on. So that's all for now. With this today's session we have finished oops concepts. So coming to the next session we will see some few concepts on strings, we'll see few concepts on constructors, and we'll see some few concepts on arrays, and we'll see some few concepts on collections. That's some advanced part, but meanwhile parallelly we will be seeing some Selenium automation scripts as well going forward. So meet you in the next session. Thank you and have a nice day.